Hello, everyone. This is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the She and Success podcast, powered by She and Success Business Magazine, a platform dedicated to spotlighting the voices, strategies, and journeys of women leaders and entrepreneurs who are shaping Canada's business and policy landscape. Today, we are exploring the raw, unfiltered reality of the entrepreneurial spirit. In 2026, we often talk about pivot points, but rarely do we see someone who has turned every closed door from personal health battles to business failures into a brand new gateway for others. Joining us today is Kimberley Hiebert, CEO and co founder of Door Gurus. Kimberly's journey is nothing short of cinematic. From a high school dropout and popcorn queen with $1 million in sales to surviving cancer at 50 and eventually launching North America's first residential door repair franchise. She isn't just building a home service brand, she is changing wealth stories across Canada. Before further ado, let's welcome this very special guest. Kimberly, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. I love that intro. It's so exciting. I sound so exciting.
No, of course you
It's
are.
fun. It's funny to listen to somebody else like talk about you and you're like, "Oh, who is that person?"
No, of course, I understand where you're coming from, but each word that I've said, it's well deserved. Kimberly, you started as a mom on maternity leave and turned a simple yes to selling popcorn into $1 million operation with 75 women across Alberta. The story just, gives me goosebumps just by listening to, how it might have, planned out. So please go ahead and share what the
Sure.
story was and how did your early success reshape your identity and confidence as a leader?
Yeah, it is a kind of crazy story, and it's one I always forget about, right? It's like because it happens, it feels like so long ago, feels like
Uh-huh.
another lifetime. But yeah, I was on maternity leave. It was in the early 90s. And there was this thing going around. It had been going around for quite some time, but home parties where women would gather. You familiar? Where
Yeah.
women, and it was normally like Tupperware or things like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And I had met the founder of the snack company. She was wanting to bring her company across Canada. And she's like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" I worked at the bank. Okay. I worked counting money. That's what I did. And
Right.
so I was on mat leave and I was bored. So I was like, sure, let me give it a shot. And I started hosting these popcorn parties out of my townhouse.
Uh-huh.
And within like 6 months, it like no pun intended, it like exploded. And before you know it, I have like containers, like big semi trucks delivering popcorn and popcorn supplies to my house
Wow.
on a weekly basis. And then I would have women showing up to pick up their stuff. And my neighbors started to get suspicious. Like, what is going on over there? It was really crazy. But when I look back on it, it was the first time when I look at the whole experience, and like within 2 years, I had 75 women working, selling popcorn. The majority of them stay at home moms. But what I learned about myself in that moment and during that time is how, when I am sold and bought into an idea, it becomes all of who I am. And I become very charismatic and very magnetic. And that's when I
Mhm.
really learned the power of relationships and people and my ability to not sell anything, but to compel people when I fully believe in what I'm doing. And so that's kind of how that came together.
That's a beautiful story and a very interesting one. If I see my neighbors, a truck out of the driveway going in, going out, I'm going to be like, what? So, but also, very important what you said, Kimberly, realizing that capability is a discovered trait rather than a born one is, what allows a founder to stay resilient through much harder seasons as well. So thank you so much for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Now, let's explore how your cancer journey reshaped your identity and resilience. Firstly, so much more power to you. You are a survivor. You've been through so much that
Yeah.
none of us can even begin to imagine, right? Kimberly, I'd love for you to share with our audience, how did your health journey change your perspective on leadership and business and life in general?
Yeah. So I was 50. So I had experienced quite a bit of success for the popcorn being the beginning of it. I spent many years raising a family. Then I went into a career and then I started buying businesses. And, my life, I was doing Ironmans. Like I was really on, I was on, like, I was like, this is it. Like, this is life, right? Like, this is just bring it on. And then I was 50 and I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was literally like running into a brick wall. Everything I had known to that point got challenged. Everything I thought I believed in who I was, performing, accomplishments, all those kinds of things, everything got challenged because I could no longer do those things. I had to take time, which I think a lot of people really resonate with time. Like we're impatient. We want to like get things, we want to do the things we want to experience.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I was forced for 18 months to take care of my health, to go to doctor's appointments, to get treatment, to be sick, to learn to be well, and all that kind of stuff. And I would say that in itself, not the cancer, but that in itself is what started to transform me because I was forced to create space in a way that felt uncomfortable for a long period of time. And it really started to open the door and allow me. This is the beautiful thing about space. And this is the beautiful thing about boredom in children is when you are bored and when you have space, you become imaginative.
Yeah.
Your imagination opens up. And I think that's truly where that's where that journey took me. Is it created the space that I was not willing to create myself. Don't, back then, if you asked me to meditate or sit still for a while, I would have been like, roll my eyes and give you the middle finger, like, kind of thing. Right. And so I think that was the biggest piece, was really, truly understanding time and patience. And that time really allows other opportunities to show up.
Um, I'd love for you to, expand on this part, Kimberly, that when you're getting out of that journey, your mindset is the biggest thing that can affect your recovery. So what was there a success mantra, or some sort of mantra that you kept telling yourself while you were in recovery, that you need to get out of it stronger and much better? Or was it something that you kind of ignored in your mind, and like, just walk me through your mind in that
Yeah, yeah.
moment.
During the time that I was going through treatment and getting really, really sick and all that kind of stuff, for me, the one thing, and I think most humans feel like what makes you feel successful is progression, like moving forward in something.
Mhm.
And so because I couldn't do what I'd always done, I started to educate myself. I went back to school. I started taking some courses about health and holistic health and how our food is made and just really random things to keep my brain engaged in this need to grow always, and some not just stagnate. And although I never had this like, why me, poor me, any of that kind of stuff, I just kind of like knew that as the days went on, you start to learn. Well, there's a period of time where it's dark, where you don't know if there's a future. But then when you're kind of coming through it and you start to see a little bit of the light, you start to trust and have a little bit of hope again that,
Yeah.
oh, wait, there is a future for me after cancer. This isn't the end. And because you don't really know. So I wouldn't say I had a mantra per se, other than this: I have a very strong desire to survive and to kind of cherish the life that I have every single day. And that's kind of kept me in the game. You know what I mean? Like I didn't
Yeah.
sink back and yeah.
No, again, thank you so much for sharing that story with me and
Yeah.
our audience. It takes a lot of courage, and wishing you a continuous, speedy recovery,
Thank you.
and hope that a lot of amazing things happen to the beautiful soul that you are,
No, thank
Kimberly.
you.
Now, moving ahead, let's discuss how early setbacks led to the creation of door gurus. So. Coming back to this specifically, why did you choose door repair as your business vehicle, despite not being passionate about it, or you can be passionate about it. I don't know.
I'm not
You
passionate about
tell me.
doors. Yeah.
Because
This is kind of my tagline now.
as growing up, you don't really think about this as a conventional thing that you need to do, yeah, right?
Yeah.
That, oh,
Yeah.
doors, I'll fix them, or I'll do something around them. So
Yeah.
where did this story start from, and how exactly do you position yourself in this business right
Yeah.
now?
This is always a good question. It's like popcorn. The doors is like popcorn. It's like so obscure and like unconventional and bizarre, right? So behind the scenes, my husband and I have been married for 32, 3 years, something like that. He has been in the door industry, but in commercial industrial door work, right? So he has
Yeah.
done that his whole life. Him and his family built a big business, just a one business operation locally, very successful, created generational wealth for many, many families. But when I got sick, it really is all rooted in when I got diagnosed with cancer, because everything that we knew came to a stop, including all of our businesses. He retired. We sold off our businesses because we were like, okay, it's time to retire. Like life is throwing us a curveball. And we started to liquidate and be like, well, we're going to like play pickleball and ride bikes and drink coffee and, go on hikes, that kind of stuff. That lasted like, I don't know, 12 minutes. We just, right. So when my husband retired from his main business, what happened is he kept fixing, but he started fixing, like neighbors' doors or residential property doors. So he started fixing these. At the same time, my husband and I also owned a franchise in
Mhm.
a different industry. Like we owned a business that was a franchise, and it was failing badly. It is a failure financially. Like when you look at the numbers, not the experience is never failure. The financial
Mhm.
situation was like we lost tons of money on it. And so it was during this time that I'm now like I'm sick. So I'm on the couch. I'm spending time, just reflecting, all that kind of stuff, listening to podcasts, learning, getting deeper in all the kind of weird woo woo healing stuff, just all that stuff. My husband is fixing people's doors. We have this failing business we're trying to sell. We don't really know what the future looks like. But what ends up happening is he gets so busy helping property owners fix their doors, like front doors, back doors, all that, those kind of doors, that within the inside of 8 months, he had generated so much work without any advertising, without any help. It was him, his truck, his tools. And we had this brick and mortar business that was failing. And now we had this mobile business that was
Mm.
really starting to take off. And we know the door industry in terms of its market a bit, like it's a $55 billion industry. People don't realize that. And at that same time, I came to understand the E-Myth, which is the book all about, building enterprise level business in systems and operations. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, which is a enterprise level, almost $1 billion brand out of Canada here. These things all started coming into my ecosystem and awareness. And I said to my husband, and this is on the 2 years into cancer journey, I was like, we need to build a franchise brand that's mobile for door repairs across Canada. And he was like, oh, yeah, we do. And that's really how it came to be. And so I really am the visionary of building the franchise across. I am not passionate about fixing doors. I'm not. I'll say that a million times. I roll my eyes when my husband talks about the door work that he does. What I am super passionate about is helping others open doors and opening doors for other people by creating more wealth, by creating opportunity. I have a female franchise partner who is now positioned to generate great income in the trades industry. This doesn't happen in the trades industry for women as much, right? And so that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about bringing the people together that will not only build the vision with me, but also execute and be rewarded from it. And so that combined with my husband's subject matter expertise that he's passionate about makes our brand super magnetic, super charismatic, and really is going to blow up. So we're really excited. So that's how it all came together.
Wow, that is one of the most interesting stories, because you just can't imagine two different things going in two different directions, how beautifully they can come together and do amazing things.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, here's a
Yep.
special message for all of our listeners, specifically for all the founders watching. In 2026, don't get stuck waiting for passion to find you. Passion is what you bring to the mission, not necessarily the product. Kimberly is a finalist in the forum pitch competition because she understands that a door is just a vehicle. Whether you are in the trades, tech, or retail, your real job is to open door for others. If you faced a closed door recently, a failed launch, or a personal setback, remember that it's not the end of your story. It is your story. Use it to build something that gives others the freedom you once dreamed of. Coming back to you, Kimberly,
Oh, thank you.
choosing a low overhead mobile model, it definitely allows you to scale the impact of your business while providing a real world solution to, gap in the trades. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Now let's look at how you're leading and, scaling in a male
Hmm.
dominated
Yeah.
industry. So this industry, doors, hardware, anything like that, people usually associate it as a man's job, right?
Yeah.
So in this male dominated industry, what advantages do women bring to the trade industry from your perspective, and how are you supporting more and more women to enter this?
So those are really good questions. So the number one thing that we see women bring into trades in general, so our work is primarily focused on residential property owners. And if you think of yourself as a female and having technicians come into your home to do repair work of any kind. For myself, when I was a young mom and had kids at home and all that kind of stuff, I hated it. I hated being in the house with other strange men, things like that. I still do. I still don't like it. And so, one of the things I think that females bring to the trades is an ability to build trust in a way. Not now, this is like, I know there's females and males that are not trustworthy. That's not what I'm saying. But in general, if they're investing in their business, they bring a level of trust and nurture and a perspective to details that sometimes gets missed by the male counterpart.
Mm,
And so it's really interesting in the work that we do because the work is not inherently dirty or heavy. It's still working with your hands. It's still helping people solve problems that impact their daily lives. And so there's a real connection for women to be able to bring all that together in an industry that's really lucrative and AI proof. You
yeah.
cannot, have a robot fix doors yet. And in a way that brings a sense of accomplishment and confidence and having access to a $55 billion industry is
Mm,
what women need to create and start to creating an equal playing field, in terms of generating our own wealth. And so that's how we bring all that. And then how did we do that in Door Gurus? When
yeah.
we started to build the brand, we built it from the perspective of it being available for any person it doesn't matter gender, it doesn't matter
Right.
age, it's about different skills. And so even the name of it, we didn't, it's not a guy's name, it's not, aligned with male language. And so we try to
Mm.
keep that at the top of mind and really remember that it's for everybody regardless.
Definitely, this is a much needed and timely conversation that is happening, Kimberly. Bringing a deeply human approach to the trades, right, without any barriers or any anything that makes you not want to go there is exactly how you disrupt an industry and build a loyal franchisee network.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to give you a time machine right now and say we were to
Yeah.
travel 5 or 10 years into the future, when you get out of that time machine, how exactly do you envision Door Gurus expanding in the Canadian ecosystem?
Yeah, so I know this. I've been living in this vision of 5 years. This is where I live. I live in 5 years from now. And so five
Wow.
years from now, yeah, Door Gurus is a household name in the sense of when you have door problems, whether it's a garage door, front door, back door, anything like that, you think and know Door Gurus. The visibility and the top of mind, that's really the focus of everything that we do. We want you to think, just like when people think junk, they think 1-800 got junk. Those two come together. That's what we want for
Yeah.
Door Gurus. We want 30 franchise
Hmm.
partners across Canada, really building the brand that is really about leaving lasting great impressions. And yeah, so that's where we'll be in 30 years, in 5 years with 30 franchise partners and moving into the US.
You've painted quite a picture there. And, I like women who know what they want, and you're definitely one of them. I'm loving this conversation, Kimberly. And definitely, I'd love for you to be back, hopefully, for an in person
Yeah,
podcasting,
so I would love to
that
do
we
that.
do next time. But for now, before we let you go, if there's one final piece of advice that you have for the entrepreneurs who don't know what to do after, seeing a failure of any sort, what is that one thing, if you could whisper into their ear, what and why?
Don't quit.
Hmm.
Don't quit. Don't quit seeking. Don't quit doing. Don't quit. That's you just you don't know what door is waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. Sometimes something as simple is the biggest reminder that one can get. So it was such a pleasure having you on the show, Kimberly.
Thank you,
Thank you
Kripa.
so much. All right, that was Kimberly Hiebert from Door Gurus, a masterclass in how to turn life's most devastating interruptions into a story of leadership, resilience, and wealth creation for others. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning into the She and Success podcast powered by She and Success Business Magazine. Be sure to subscribe for more expert insights and visit sheandsuccess.ca for more resources. And lastly, a very special thank you to our exclusive shipping partner, Purolator, for their ongoing commitment to supporting women entrepreneurs and helping them build, grow, and lead successful businesses across Canada. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.